Yeah, you've read that title very, very correctly. We deserve better. What is up, Finn fans? If you follow me on Twitter, again, go follow me on Twitter at DouglieDoWrong. If you need to follow me anywhere, it's DouglieDoWrong. But if you follow me on Twitter, I essentially was, noticing some things, and I sat back and I was reading some things, and Finn's Fans Football Podcast, Finn Sports Football Podcast, tweeted out something since Ross bought the team in 2008, and he went down a list of just horrible things that we went through. I sat back and I realized that I wanted to make this video essentially discussing that I've been a Dolphin fan since 1995. I was born 1987. We always like to say we've been Dolphin fans since we were born. And yeah, that might be the case, but you didn't know. You didn't know much. You're a little kid. So I always, acclimate, because there's pictures of me in my Dolphin gear as like a 5-6 year old, but you don't really start to understand it. And I didn't really start to understand it or remember until I was about 8. So 1995. It was Shula's last year. But I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself that we deserve better, because I thought of all the stuff that I had to deal with. Now, again, I've been a Dolphin fan for 20 plus years. Some of you guys, like my father, he's born in 65, been a Dolphin fan probably around the same time I started being a Dolphin fan, around 8. Back-to-back Super Bowls, winning records, all this good stuff he saw. But me, on the other hand, I started like sitting there and I started jotting down things that we deserved better. We deserve better. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. And I do apologize if it's brings up some PTSD, Dolphin fan, but it needs to be addressed because some of the things on this list are horrible. And you have, fan bases out there like the Detroit Lions, Cincinnati Bengals are in the Super Bowl. They have their stud quarterback in Joe Burrow. You have, San Diego Chargers, now the LA Chargers. You have the Rams. They had Super Bowls. I'm trying to think of like bad teams. Cardinals went to a Super Bowl way before the Dolphins have recently. I'm just trying to think of bad teams throughout the years that now bounce back. Jets are the Jets. They went to 2 back-to-back AFC Championship games recently. So it's like I can't even really poo-poo on the Jets. But the Dolphins just, and I'm gonna try to go in chronological order. It might be off. Some of my timeline stuff might be off, but I'm gonna go in chronological order. And the first thing I can remember is Don Shula's retirement. Right, January 5th of 1996. Don Shula's retirement. Now, if you are like me, you just started to watch football. You started to understand what's going on. You didn't, and it's not day and age like now where all this little tidbits and all the information sources come out. You would just think that Don Shula thought, I've been coaching for 33 years. I think it's time to hang him up. No, that's not what happened. Wayne Huizenga forced Don Shula to retire, a.k.a. quit. Refusing to surrender power after a season that scuffed his image, Miami Dolphins coach Don Shula has decided to retire, ending a 33-year career during his one more games than any NFL coach. According to Dolphin sources, Shula was ordered by owner Wayne Huizenga in a meeting Wednesday to make widespread changes in his coaching and personnel staff. In response, Shula told Huizenga he would not make other scapegoats for a season during which their collection of stars finished 9-7, leading to the first-round playoff humiliation in Buffalo. When Huizenga would not back down on his demands, Shula decided to retire. So, no, Shula didn't think after 33 years, I'm just going to hang up my No. He was forced to retire because after going 9-7 and making the playoffs, and it wasn't a great year. We got humiliated by the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs, one and done. Huizinga wanted somebody to be the scapegoat. Shula said, no, I'm not that type of guy. Greatest coach of all time. And he retired. That was in my mind, in my decade, in my Dolphin life, that was the first that was the first instance of many that I have on this list of what are they doing? You just forced the greatest coach of all time to retire before he wanted to. The other thing, Dan Marino. Dan Marino's last game was horrendous, putrid to say the least. Just garbage against the Jaguars. I'm not even going to say the score. We're not even going to, just horrible. But the way that Marino retired was another just slap in the face. Dave Wanstead did not want Marino anymore. And Marino had to decide between retiring or there was interest from the Minnesota Vikings. But he decided that his Achilles and his legs weren't what they used to be, so he decided to retire. One of you great human beings, MetLife Takeover, gave me this. Marino error passes. I have the newspaper article. March 14th, 2000. He was forced to retire. Or go play for somebody else. Then we have the Ricky Williams saga with Dave Wanstead. Ricky Williams, we trade for Ricky. Fantastic move. I have no qualms or I'm not upset about the Ricky Williams trade. But Dave Wanstead ran that man into the ground. 2 back-to-back years just ran that man into the ground. And then Dave Wanstead says, you know what? Jay Fiedler's good enough for you. Doesn't go out get him a quarterback. Doesn't draft a quarterback. Drew Brees was available. Doesn't help Ricky at all. We're going to run you back into the ground again. So he retires. A lot of people think he retired to go smoke weed. Not true. Not true. He actually didn't start smoking weed from his point of view in the NFL till after that. Another instance. Nick Saban. The Nick Saban and the Culpepper versus Drew Brees saga. Culpepper versus Brees. Again, hindsight's always 20/20. But the Dolphins wanted Drew Brees. And from multiple different things I'm hearing, he wanted too much money, or he wanted to wait and see, and the Dolphins were getting impatient, and it was just all this stuff. Or then it was the medical and da-da-da-da-da. The Dolphins ended up trading for Dante Culpepper. And then you have Nick Saban. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to Alabama. That's why I hate Alabama. That's why I hate Nick Saban. Don't lie to me. Don't say I'm not going anywhere multiple times. Then you have Cam Cameron. Cam Cameron. 1-15. And the messed up part about Cam Cameron is they could have had Mike Tomlin. They brought Mike Tomlin in for an interview, and this is horrible, right? I found this article. Turned out Cameron was ill-suited to be head coach as the team went 1-15 before he wound up fired. At the same time, the Pittsburgh Steelers were searching for a replacement for longtime head coach Bill Cowher. They were expected to choose between Ken Wisenhunt and Russ Grimm, who were assistants on Cowher's staff. But they went off board and chose Mike Tomlin. The Dolphins actually made their hire before the Steelers did, meaning they potentially could have had Mike Tomlin, who had been wildly successful in Pittsburgh. But why didn't they hire him even after interviewing him? According to Miami Herald via Roto World, Tomlin was too hip-hop. One Dolphin employee who had a say in the decision would say of Mike Tomlin a week later. Mike Tomlin was too hip-hop, so they went with Cam Cameron, a guy who was inflated. He was the offensive coordinator for the Chargers, inflated by Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tom. Like, we saw what happened. And we had to deal with a 1-15 season because you don't want Mike Tomlin because he was too hip-hop. You kidding me? And then the Stephen Ross era started. And this is where I'm really putting my foot down that we deserve better as Miami Dolphin fans. The Stephen Ross era starts, right? During Stephen Ross's era, the Dolphins are 79 and 90 is their record. We had to deal with the bully gate. We had to deal with Tony Sparano, which I have no problem with Tony Sparano, but the saga of Tony Sparano and Jim Harbaugh, which we are dealing with again, Jim Harbaugh, because now there's talks that Minnesota's heading up there tomorrow, or today for you. I think I'm putting this out Wednesday, and it's a foregone conclusion that he's gonna sign with Minnesota. But Stephen Ross doesn't want to take him from Michigan. He cares about Michigan more than he cares about this team. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I've said that before, and people got on me. Why are you pushing that narrative? Why are you pushing that agenda? Because it's true. He doesn't want to take Mike Tomlin from Michigan. Jim Harbaugh wants to leave Michigan, my man. It's obvious. But he doesn't want to take him from him, so he's going to let him go to Minnesota. And people have said, well, maybe he doesn't want to go to the Dolphins. Maybe they tried. Maybe this. If they did, then it would have been known. And he would have came in for an interview. But again, you had the Sparano Harbaugh, then you had Joe Philman, Adam Gase, Brian Flores, what we're dealing with right now. 2 playoffs. 2 playoffs in the Stephen Ross era. 4 winning seasons. Stephen Ross era started in 2012. 2012. So that's what, 10 years? Is that been 10 years? It feels like much longer. 10 years he's been the owner. 10 years. 2 playoff appearances, 4 winning seasons. 10 years. We had the O-line coach doing coke in the facility. Lawrence Timmons. Do you remember that situation where he just went AWOL during a season where our bye week was week 1 because of a hurricane? Just went AWOL. Disappeared. Mike Pouncey. We ended up cutting Mike Pouncey because he couldn't practice on the hip. Ends up going to San Diego and having a few good seasons under San Diego as their starting center with no missed time. But Adam Gase wanted to consistently hold him out. Adam Gase with Devontae Parker situation. They traded Jarvis Landry. 1-15, 5-11, a tank season that we had to deal with. And then through it all, through all of this that I've laid out for you, all the stuff that just reiterates that we deserve better, they've been mediocre. Absolute last good season was 2001. 2000 and 2001, we went 11-5 both times. In 2000, we lost the divisional round, and in 2001, we lost in the wild card. Then it was 9-7, 10-6, 4-12, 9-7, 6-8, 1-15, 11-5, 7-9, 7-9, 6-10, 7-9, 8-8, 8-8, 6-10, 10-6, wild card, woohoo! 6-10, 7-9, 5-11, 10-6, 9-8. We deserve better than this. And I don't like to pile on. And I'm not, again, me talking about this has nothing to do with what's going on right now with Brian Flores. It has triggered me, and it has brought back memories, and has made me want to run down this list to talk about the fact that we deserve better. But these are allegations. This is stuff that hasn't been proven correct, hasn't been proven false. This is just put it aside. Before this stuff came out about Brian Flores and all the allegations and the lawsuit, just so you know, this is a lawsuit where it's not just him versus the NFL. I won't be surprised if more coaches jump on this. I forgot what it's called, the type of lawsuit it's called, but you'll comment it below. Something action lawsuit. It's not in my brain right now. But before this happened, again, that kind of triggered me into running down a horrible lane, not even a great memory lane, to think about this. When I found the final straw was when he said, I don't want to take Jim Harbaugh from Michigan. I think that was my final straw. because of all I'm consistently hearing is that the Vikings are going to go get him. And if he is offered it from Minnesota, he's likely to take it, and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Now, you could think that Jim Harbaugh, why would you want Jim Harbaugh as a head coach, Doug? I've told you. And you might think Jim Harbaugh is a horrible head coach. Yeah. But the fact that he's sitting on his hands when to everyone else in the world, Jim Harbaugh is like first 4 years in the NFL, playoffs, Super Bowl, playoffs. And the third year, he lost in the conference championship game. Like, pretty good head coach. 44-19-1 as a record is pretty good. Pretty good. And he's just going to sit back because Michigan, my alma mater, I have buildings named after me on their campus because of how much money I just give to Michigan. But Miami, on the other hand, that's second to you. And that's what triggered me to remembering this stuff. And I honestly think with the stuff that's coming out, and if any of it is true, I think he should sell the team. I think it's time. Because he's not listening to us. And you might think to yourself, why would he? He's a successful business owner in New York. Why would he listen to the fans? What does that have to do? He wants to be successful here. He'll listen to, legit NFL people who know football. He hasn't. He hasn't. He has made wrong decision after wrong decision after wrong decision for the past 10 years. He hasn't. That's why he should sell the team. Plain and simple. How many of us want the Dolphins to go to throwbacks full time? How many of us want that? There's petitions. We're constantly talking about it. I'm pretty sure the jersey sales for the throwbacks are way higher than the jersey sales for the horrible toothpaste logo. But he's sticking with that toothpaste logo. No. That's what they're doing. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear from the fans. We boo. We chant for certain players. We want certain things. And they just don't listen. And obviously not everything that fans are clamoring for is the right thing. But there's certain things that do it, man. You don't know crap about football, but you don't surround yourself with people who do. And your potential successor, which again, this guy, it doesn't mean that when Ross retires or when he sells the team that he instantly becomes the new owner. He has to, I think he gets top first bid or something like that, but he still has to be voted on and stuff like that. He is another Stephen Ross. He is a businessman from New York City. I would love to have the history of my owner, like the Giants, like the Steelers, like heck, even the Cowboys with Jerry Jones. I know he doesn't do too great, but football knowledge. I'd like my owner to have football knowledge. I wouldn't like my owner to have real estate. Oh, I could build you a great stadium. I'm going to put a track around this stadium, and then I'm going to put a tennis court over here, and I'm going to put a canopy on top of the stadium. Oh, we're going to put TVs in the stadium. Hey, Stephen Ross, how about you put a good football team on the field before you start making it look like Disneyland around here? Did you ever think of that? That's the stuff that's the stuff that's been running through my head since these allegations came out, and I had to get it off my chest. Let me know what you guys think. Some of you guys have been fans longer than I've been alive. And you are the guys that I like to listen to, because you got some experience, some history. And let me know. What are your thoughts? Am I blowing things out of proportion? Am I being hypercritical? Am I being overly sensitive to Stephen Ross? Should I give him a chance? Or do you think he should sell the team to somebody who knows how to run a football team? There's not many of them in the NFL. A lot of these guys are just billionaires who want to own a football team. man, if I had enough money to buy this Dolphin team, I'd probably run into the ground. What the hell am I? I'm a schmo in New Jersey that played football and loves this team. But we'll see how all this pans out. This video is going to come out early, so if more news breaks and all that stuff, obviously, Brian Flores is going to be on CBS. So maybe after the baby goes to bed around 5, 6 o'clock, I will make a video talking about what he said on CBS. I'll do that. But I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. So comment below. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for hitting the subscribe button. Thank you guys for supporting. You guys mean the world to me. And the fact that even through all this, you still want to listen to me talk, I appreciate it so very much. So other than that, guys, I'll probably see you in a little bit. I'll probably see you later today talking about what he said on CBS. Like usual, stay classy. Fins up.